Shalom.
Hi,
Uh,
Shalom.
Aviv.
Yeah, Naviv. Hi.
Uh, so far, how many days you are in Japan?
So I arrived on December 6th, so it's almost like 3 months already that I travel here in Japan.
Yes,
Mostly alone, but yeah, during my journey, I can say I meet a lot of interesting people.
I see.
Mhm.
Uh, you start in Tokyo, but where did you go in Japan?
So I started in Tokyo, was here for 5 days in the beginning of my trip. Then I continue west in Onosho Island, was in uh, Takao area, Fuji area, Kofu, did some hikes in these places. Then I went to Nagano, Tsumoto, Kiso Valley, and from there I continued to Kyoto. Was there for almost a week. One day in Nara, see the deers and the big Buddha shrine. Then I went to Osaka, was there for 5 days. Then I went to Mount Koya. I did a pilgrim's trail, stayed overnight in Koya. In the morning, I participated in the morning ceremony with the monks. And after that, I did a Komuno Kudo. And after I finished, I stayed for 2 days in a town called Nachikatsura, just relaxed there after the hike. And then I moved to Onomichi, and I did a Shinomani Kaido cycling route. It's a cycling trail that basically connect Honosho Island with Shikoku Island. Very beautiful trail. Over this trail, you cross many different bridge and small islands in between the two main islands of Japan. And after I finished this trail, I stayed in Shikoku, the fourth biggest island of Japan, for almost like 2 weeks. In Shikoku, I went to Matsuyama, a west city in the Shikoku Island. Very famous for Dojo Onsen, the oldest onsen in Japan. And other places I've been were like Tokushima, where they have a special dance they invented there, very ancient dance from the Edo period.
Mm.
Also visited the Ayo Valley, one of, I think, the most magnificent places I've been in Japan, very pastoralic. They have a huge river there and beautiful mountains. The surrounding is very peaceful and nice. And then I went back to Onosho. I stayed 2 days in Kobe, tried Kobe beef, of course, and just did some small trail in the nature around Kobe. And then I moved to Hiroshima, stayed there for a night, visited the Peace Memorial Park, and of course the museum that is related to the atomic bomb. And after Hiroshima, I moved to Kyushu Island. In Kyushu, I was for 1.5 days in Fukuoka, one of the biggest cities in Kyushu. Then I took a flight to Okinawa. In Okinawa, I stayed in the main island for 2 weeks. I started from Na, the capital city in the south, and from there I just continued north in the island. Did some hiking trails, did some snorkeling near the Blue Cave, a famous diving site in Okinawa. Did some kayaking and ate good food, of course. And yeah, then I just arrived back here to Tokyo for my final days of the trip.
So that's a huge journey.
Yeah, and I
Almost
probably forgot
three
some
months.
places
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. So from Tokyo to Okinawa, Shikoku, it's interesting because not many tourists go to Shikoku. Even Japanese,
Mhm.
not many go travel to Shikoku because most people go to Kyoto, Osaka in Japanese. What did you expect to see in Shikoku?
So first of all, the reason I came to Shikoku was because of the cycling tour I did. So I was just thinking to myself, if I'm already doing this cycling tour, so I already finished it in Shikoku, so why not invest more time here in this island and see what it can offer me? And I definitely not regret it because I saw beautiful nature there and experienced a different aspect of the culture of Japan. And yeah, it was a very interesting island.
Interesting. So you do cycling, hiking, kayaking.
Yeah, I think most of the actions I did in this trip were something related to hiking or cycling or different kind of sports. But also visited museums and cultural sites and had some culinary tours. For example, in Matsumoto, I did an soba making experience course.
So you try soba cooking.
Yeah, I tried soba cooking in Matsumoto.
Matsumoto.
Yeah, in Nagano prefecture.
Yes.
And I also visited a very old miso factory where they still make miso the traditional way.
Can.
Their miso is aged for 3 years. It's very rare in Japan. And in the end of the tour that they do for you in the factory, you also get to taste their miso. And I also visited in sake factory in Nagano.
Wow.
And they offer you also a free tasting course, and you get the chance to taste like 15 different kind of sake there. So you can get a little bit drunk even, I would say, because you taste a lot of sake.
Yes.
And it used to be like the old factory. Now they made it as a museum because they moved the factory to another place. So there still are some machines there, and they provide like an explanation about how making sake. It's a very nice experience, I will say.
I see.
Yeah.
And you saw the entire Japan expect the north. You saw all the south part of Japan. And
So as I said in the beginning, I started in Tokyo, and then I just moved west.
West.
West,
south.
north a little bit, sometimes a little south, but mostly I went west in Onshu Island.
Okay.
And after that, I visited in Shikoku, as I said. In Shikoku, I was like in the little bit in the east area, in Tokushima, in the west area in Imabari and Matsuyama, and also in the central part in more rural places like Ayo Valley.
All the places you visited, which city do you like the most?
So it's hard to say like what is the most favorite place, but I can pinpoint about some places, not necessarily cities, that really gave like a strong impression on me.
Yes.
For example, in Fuji. Park, so I really liked the Jukai Forest. This is a very beautiful forest. It's here. It's green all year round. A very pastoralic place, but it also have a very dark history because many Japanese people used to come to this forest every year and commit suicide. So it's also called the suicide forest. Jukai forest in Japanese means the sea of trees, if I correct, because really there are a lot of trees over there. And if you get off the trail, you can get lost really easily. And for the cave lovers, so there are very interesting caves in this forest also that were created mostly from Fuji eruption many years ago. One of the famous cave called the Wind Cave, and it has a constant temperature of between 0 and 3 degrees all year round. So in old times they used to keep ice in this cave. It was like a natural refrigerator, and even now you can find ice in this cave. I found it really impressive. In other places that I really liked were in Yamanashi in the Nagano prefecture. Some of my favorite hikes were in Yamanashi, for example, Ayodake mountain. I think it's like the third highest mountain in Yamanashi prefecture. It's about 2,800 almost in height. It's a volcanic mountain. It's not active anymore, but the crater is very impressive to see. When I was there, and I believe that also now, it's very snowy, peaceful, quiet.
Yes.
And other places I like were in Nagano Prefecture, like Nurikura Kogen. It's a natural park in Nagano. They have nice trekking hikes over there. There is a deep snow in this area, so it's recommend to rent a snow boot if you would like to visit there. And they have like a frozen waterfall in winter and very big frozen ponds that you can visit. And overall, I think these were two of my most favorite natural places to see in Japan that I really liked. And Osaka was actually a very nice city, in my opinion. It's a modern city, it's very live city, even in the night, but it's not as crowded and dense as Tokyo might be. And there are very nice attraction, especially for food lovers, in my opinion, in Osaka, like the tuna auction in the Osaka Municipal Central Market. I found it more interesting than the one that is more famous actually in Tokyo, because in the one in Osaka you can actually be inside the tuna auction itself, and you can just walk around and see how they fillet the fish, how they assemble them after the sale, and yeah, there is a very good food in Osaka, in my opinion. If you want to try takoyaki or okonomiyaki, so this is like the place to try.
Okay, תודה. And last question, do you have any other advice to people coming to Japan?
Yeah, I will definitely advise people to come to Japan. I believe that Japan have everything to offer to basically anyone, from hikes lovers to foodies to people that more interested in culture and ones that are interested in shopping. For everyone, there is a place that you can find it comfort and interesting and exciting for you. One simple advice is that I can give you is just also try to do something different from the regular trip that people do. Most people just come to Tokyo, maybe Kyoto a little bit, and Osaka. But really try to get out of these cities. Like, don't understand me wrong, go to these cities, they have a lot to offer, but try to combine other places in your trip, less touristic places. Go to Nagano, go to Yamanashi, try Shikoku. Okinawa is perfect in the winter if you want to experience Japan with in much less cold environment, without snow, in more like a tropic kind of environment. So Okinawa is the place for you. And yeah, that's it basically.
Thank you very much. And I usually spend time in Tokyo, but can you use Suica in Osaka, or you cannot Suica in Osaka? Suica card.
Suica, yes. So in Osaka, in Okinawa, you mean, or Osaka?
Okinawa, Osaka, Kyoto. Outside of Kyoto, do you use Suica?
Yeah, in Kyoto you can use Suica.
Okay.
And but in many other places, like even in Onosho, mostly in the rural places, the less central ones, you cannot use Suica. You need to use cash. So it's also always good to have a good amount of cash on you.
Yes.
Even in Nagano, in the Matsumoto area, most of the buses don't receive Suica.
Wow.
Even some of the trains, even the JR trains.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really confusing. In one station in Matsumoto, they receive Suica.
Nice.
The other one in Nagano, they don't receive Suica.
Wow.
From some reason, yeah. And in Okinawa, for example, you cannot use Suica at all. They have their own kind of IC card, but it's really easy to get one. Just go to one of the bus terminals.
Yes.
It's 1 minute process.
Yes. Suica is an IC card for train transportation, but
Yeah,
usually in Tokyo, you can use anywhere, but
yeah,
outside of
this
Tokyo,
card.
yes, Suica.
And it's also can use in some of the shops and all in the convenience store, so you can use it for paying for your groceries, for example.
Because I live in Tokyo, I spent a lot of time in Tokyo. I don't go much to the Kyoto, Osaka, Nagoya, Nagano. So yeah, I need to know that. So yeah, you should get Suica, but you also have to prepare for the cash. Yes. cash.
Yeah. Cash is always good to
yes.
take because not just like public transport can be problematic without cash, but also many business in Japan accept only cash.
Yes.
And so yeah, it's
Yes.
good to carry cash as well.
Yes. In Japan, cash is still king. Cash is
Yeah.
still king in Japan. Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
תודה רבה.
תודה לך.